Hey everyone, this is Keith Scott from out in Sydney, Australia. I'm one of the voices of Bullwinkle J. Moose. It's time to watch Relentless and Unstoppable. And so give it up for your main hosts, Douglas Kenny and Andy McPhee.
Hey everybody, this is Doug Kenny and welcome to Relentless and Unstoppable. We have another amazing guest coming on the channel today, so please hit like and subscribe. And after this episode, please stay tuned to the RNU channel for more amazing guests. Let's get this on!
Hey everybody, how you doing? Just a quick little share of why I started Relentless and Unstoppable. It was for one very simple reason, because of Doug Kenny. Nothing to do with me at all, zero. I was just coaching Doug, and he took on the coaching and mentoring, and he made all the changes. He took all the suggestions from his parents as well as my coaching, but it was all about Doug, his breakthrough and his weight loss, his willingness to accept that he is dealing with high functioning autism and other issues, but he's never quit, he's never given up. So we did one interview with him to share his story, and then we decided to start interviewing other people. And Doug has now taken over the whole channel, and he does all the interviews, he runs everything. He's just an amazing young man. So RNU was born from simply what an amazing young man Doug is, and his story needed to be shared.
I think I would love the Snow White one because, as I said, in the original movie, the side of the story is the queen hates Snow White, even as a relative, because she wants to look prettier. That's all it is. It's like, That's all it is. And I just can't wait to figure out what their take on it is, because there has to be a reason why the queen wants to feel as pretty as possible, to the point of wanting to murder Snow White. So I would love to get those questions answered,
Oh yeah, I'm sure they'll come up with some a deeper meaning to that, which it'll be great to see. But it's going to be a cool movie. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I sure hope they do a Peter Pan live action one, because that would bring back a lot of nostalgia.
Yes, that would be amazing. Yes, I hope so.
You probably heard, but sadly, the child actor of Peter Pan had a tragic end that wasn't happy. And I hope that if they ever do a Peter Pan, movie again, I hope that this time the fate of the actor turns out good, if you know what I mean.
Yes. I didn't know about it.
Yeah, it was you'd have to look it up to understand, but the character's actor was Bobby Driscoll, and he was a popular child actor from the 50s, 40s and all that. And sadly though, when you're sometimes put in stardom at a young age, it can backfire later in life, and that's pretty much what happened to him. And sadly, he died at a young age because of years of drug abuse.
Oh, that's sad. Yeah, too bad.
Yeah. If they ever do a live action Peter Pan movie, though, I hope they'll bring back the actress of Wendy in like a grandmotherly fashion, probably, because the actress of Wendy is still alive, but in her late 80s or early 90s, I think, at this point.
Oh, wow. Okay, that'd be cool. That would be great. Yeah.
Yeah. I should mention that when Mary Poppins Returns came out after Mary Poppins, the sequel, the whole theater went into cheering and applause when Dick Van Dyke saved the day at the very end.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, it's great to see that you're not the only one with the nostalgia. It's great when the whole audience is into it.
Yeah, it's just, Disney movies are always a classic, and it's always nice to see that they're still popular and impacting people to this day,
Yes, absolutely. It is amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah. So what did you do after The Lion King 1.5?
Well, after that, I mean, I left to do some work on other projects, and then I went back to Disney to work on the Tinkerbell franchise. This sort of help create that franchise around Tinkerbell and how she became the Tinkerbell that we love. So it's kind of like her origin. It is her origin story. So that was a lot of fun. That was an amazing time, learned a lot. And worked with John Lasseter and the Pixar team. His team helped us behind the scenes to help. I learned a lot. Actually, during that time, I actually learned. I created a storytelling template that I now am teaching in a meetup group. So I just learned so much from both Roger Allers and Irene Mecchi and from John Lasseter and his team, and I was able to create this template that I've been using when I write projects, and it's like a way to see your whole movie on like a map on one page. It's one page screenplay.
Yeah. You mentioned you have a project you're working on at the moment that you'd like to promote. What is it?
Well, that's it. So what I'm doing is I've created this template that is when I very first started out, when I wanted to write a screenplay before I started working, in the story department, when I was in the animation department, which we didn't deal with the story part. I realized I did not know how to do that. So I got books and I took classes, and the books give you, the basics of how to write a screenplay, the basic structure, but they never tell you how to write everything from like every page. What do I write? How do I do it? What's the structure? What happens here? When does the character get introduced, and on what page, and all that? And it wasn't there. It just didn't exist. So I struggled trying to write my first screenplay, but it wasn't until I started working with these amazing storytellers that I started learning. It took me 10 years. I learned all those things. I while I was working and making these movies where they were in rooms with me for hours and hours coming up with how to create a story from scratch, I took notes and I put Post-its up and I created this like template, and then I eventually turned it into a digital one. And so now I roll it out and I teach it to it's a meetup group. It's free, and anybody can join. And during the group, meetings, a Zoom meeting, I'll just go through and I explain to them how this template works and where everything happens in great screenplays. And I'm actually going to do Lion King 1.5 on June. Let me see. I think it's June 11th. I'm going to be doing Lion King 1.5, which is what we talked about today. Yeah, June 11th. I'm going to be going through it and showing how we use that template to write this story. But I also compared it to all kinds of movies like, The Godfather and The Graduate and Ratatouille and Star Wars, like all different movies, Everything Everywhere All at Once. And all these movies, they fit the same template. That's what's so great. But it took me a long time to come up with it. And now people can use that when they're writing a screenplay.
That's impressive. Do you have a link for it where people can find it?
I'll send it to you. I do have a link. Thank you.
No problem. I'll definitely promote that because there's a lot of people that want to be screenwriters or be involved in movies in some capacity.
Yeah, it's really just knowing where to put, like knowing what to put into the screenplay. Like it's every single detail, the character arc and what the character's flaws are and when that gets resolved and when characters are introduced, everything all on one page. And then you just can write. You don't have to worry about, am I in the right spot, or where do I put this part, or how do I know when to introduce the villain, or, all that. It's all in there. And I use it. And I've used it when I'm collaborating with other writers, and they're amazed by it. But it took me 10 years to perfect it by working with these great filmmakers and asking questions and trying to figure out, their tendencies and just their natural instincts as storytellers. I created this template that really does work. So people really should. Yeah.
They should. You should. I don't know if you've done it already, but you should also make it in the template. You should let people know in the template when it's appropriate to sort of leave a cliffhanger in case the story is big, and needs to have another movie, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. That's a good idea. I haven't put that in there.
Because, with Pirates of the Caribbean, for example, it took 5 stories and 5 films to resolve the overall story, which was not just Jack Sparrow's journey from losing the Black Pearl to finally being its captain for good, 100%, but resolving the Will Turner and the Elizabeth Swann relationship. Because even though it seemed to end in the 3rd movie, it was later picked up again by the fifth movie, even though they didn't appear in the fourth movie. And so pretty much the Pirates of the Caribbean story took like 5 films to resolve in the overall conflict.
That's a very good point. And one thing that I do on the template is I talk about it if you're going to turn if you have a story that you want to tell that's like a series, right? So you have a series. The template fits like one movie, but it also fits a series. So there's the first, second, third, fourth, fifth episode, all the way to the 10th, maybe 10th episode, where these little moments should happen within each episode so that you're telling a big overall story. And each episode can still be its own standalone story, but you actually don't resolve all everything until like the last episode of the season. So that's probably similar to what they did on Pirates of the Caribbean, where there's things that you need to resolve and sort of cliffhangers, like you said, until the next movie. And it's an art to doing that so that you feel like you're seeing a satisfying movie, but there's also things you want to know more about, right? That's the trick, and then you're hoping the next movie it'll be resolved. So it was brilliant because every movie was so successful.
It was, and the same with Narnia, even though they only did 3 movies, but it takes 7 stories to resolve it all. And then, Harry Potter, it took several books and several movies to solve that whole conflict, which was the Wizarding War.
Yes, true.
So it's very interesting how one story leads to another in one single story, That's really what makes series great.
Yes, absolutely. That's what makes people want to see more. They want to see more, and they're like begging to see more. Like Stranger Things, is such a popular one, and people just can't wait till the next season comes out. That is amazing when you can come up with something that's that intriguing.
Yeah, for sure. So, where can people find you?
They can, as far as for this meetup class or just in general.
Just social media, your template, and your meeting class.
Well, they could on Facebook and Instagram. One page screenplay is what I'm called, and they can find me there for sure. And IMDb, which there's my contact information, and that's it. I'm new to social media pretty much, so I'm getting used to it. So that's what I'm on right now. And LinkedIn.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I just call everything one page screenplay because that's the name of this template that I'm kind of teaching people.
Yeah, for sure. So this is my final question, which is how can your journey impact the world? In regards to Lion King 1.5.
Lion King 1.5. Journey impact the world. I mean, really, the thing that you should always believe in yourself. That's one of the things. And I never thought I would break into the industry. I never thought I would be a director. I never thought I'd get a chance. But I was always a really big fan of movies, really big fan of animation. But I never thought I would have a chance. And really, you just keep trying and believing in yourself. And there's a lot along the way. I was turned down. I was told to change careers, that you're not going to make it in animation. I remember that was one of my critiques I got when I didn't get a job. And if you listen to those things and don't follow your dream, imagine how horrible you'd feel when you look at that. You just never do that. Always believe in yourself. And if you believe in yourself, other people will too. So that's my message to everybody is never stop believing in yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Because, one thing about the film industry is it doesn't matter where you go. Where you go. What matters is deciding to get on.
Yes, it's true. I mean, if you never try, you're never going to make it if you don't try. You got to be determined and just believe in yourself and know there's going to be a lot of, you're going to be turned down a lot. There's going to be a lot of, kind of bumps along the road. It's just the way the industry is. And if you believe in all the naysayers, then that's just horrible. Always just believe in yourself. Never, take no for an answer and just keep pushing ahead. You will make it.
Yeah, for sure. All righty. So that's all I have for now, but thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Doug. I really appreciate it. It was great meeting you, and it was great talking to you.
Great meeting you and talking with you. And just a sec. I have some Disney. Go away. Go away. Go away. I have some Disney characters trying to go away, Genie. Come on, the Seven Dwarfs. I'm doing a podcast. Come on. Those Disney characters entering the theater, not just in The Lion King 1.5, but my podcast.
They do it everywhere. They're just relentless.
Yeah, right. Relentless and unstoppable and trying to get
That's right.
say.
Yep, that's right. You got to be relentless to be relentless and unstoppable, right?
Yeah. Can you please excuse me? Snow White, I think you're beautiful, but we need to wrap this up. And that includes you, Sneezy. Sneezy just blew all over me. Okay, I need to wrap this up. Can you just give me 3 minutes? Yeah, okay, so everybody, I think that's the appropriate wrap-up for this. So thanks to Brad Raymond for appearing on R&U, and we'll see you next time on R&U.